Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very bent bar. This is how you tell. See that? When a bar gets bent, it's no longer straight. And when it's no longer straight, when it rolls on two parallel surfaces, the end of the bar will go up and down. Now you can measure the deviation of the bar's bend by measuring the distance the end of the bar travels up and back down and dividing that by 2. That's however many millimeters it is out of straight. Now, a bent bar is not completely useless, all right? Don't think you have to throw it away. A bar this badly bent, and this is badly bent, it's a rainbow, it's a terribly bent bar, is useful for a couple of things. It's useful for rack pulls primarily. This is our rack pull bar. Because anything that presents a danger to the bar of possibly bending it, you want to go ahead and use a bar that's already bent for that purpose, so you don't warp a perfectly straight bar. Now, sometimes accidents happen. We drop things in the rack. You know, you've got members that aren't paying any attention and just let go of a rack pull at the top or something stupid like that, and it will bend the bar. Now, straight bars stay straight really depending on how good the bar stock is. There are cheap bars available all over the country from vendors that are primarily to like the track and field market, and the bars are made out of 1018 steel, which is not, that's just bar stock. It's not a structural strength steel, but you can knurl it and make it look like a barbell. The problem is it will not stay straight even under normal use. It won't stay straight. If you drop a bar made out of cheap 1018 steel on the pins, that bends it immediately. That bends it. This is not made out of cheap steel. This was at one time a good bar, and it got, honestly, I don't know what happened to it, but it got bent in here a long time ago, and we've just been using it for rack pulls for a long time. A bar that has like a 2 millimeter deviation will be very hard to assign blame to for anything that you're going to use it for. It's that's kind of normal almost. I have a little 1, 2, 3 millimeter bend in a bar, especially in a commercial gym where you can't control whatever happens to it. Now, if this is your personal bar and your personal gym in your garage, you shouldn't have a bent bar. You should first buy a bar that is of sufficient quality to where normal activities will not cause it to bend. And then second, you should take care of the damn thing and not drop it on pins inside the rack, because the way a bar gets bent is very easy to understand. If you've got plates on this end and plates on this end, and in between the plates is the support for the bar in the rack. If you drop it, boom, and you've got a permanent deformation in the bar now, right? So let's just say that happens to you. Let's say that you bent the bar. What are you going to do with the damn thing? Well, rack pulls. You can rack pull with it. And you can also squat with it. And a lot of people get used to doing this. They sell these bars that are pre-made with a bend in them so they won't roll down your back. I don't want to squat with that. I have squatted with this bar before, but I find that a straight bar just feels better on my back, and this is a matter of personal preference. But if you've got a bent bar in your garage and you want to squat with it, you'll figure out how to do it. Once you get it set, in the correct position, once you get it loaded in the rack with the bent side up, with the middle of the bend facing up, you can get under it, take it out of the rack, do a set of squats, re-rack it, and it will not have moved at all on your back. It won't roll down because it can't, because it's formed across your shoulders in the shape of that curve. So if the bar gets bent, don't throw it away. It's useful for some things. You could probably press with it, although I don't think you'd like that. But you could press with it. In other words, anything where the bar remains stationary in your hands or on your back during the movement pattern, you can use a bent bar for. Now, you can't clean with it. Obviously, you can't snatch with it. Those have to be straight because they're going to rotate in your hands during the racking motion. And if you've got a badly bent bar, it's going to hurt your wrists. But for most other things, a bent bar is perfectly suitable. So don't just panic and get rid of the damn thing. You can use a bent bar for lots of constructive things in the rack. And if it's already bent, you don't have to worry about bending it some more. For rack pulls, this is a real good idea. So keep all these things in mind when you're looking at your bar inventory. If you've got a bent bar, mark it. Put bent on the sleeve so you can determine which one it is. And that way you can immediately grab the one you need for rack pulls. And it will also remind you to not mistreat the other bars in the gym. A straight bar made out of good bar stock, 4140, is a fairly expensive item. And if it's knurled correctly and the sleeves are assembled correctly, that's a lifetime investment. You know, if you have to spend $450 on a bar like that, do it. Do it. It's worth every dime of it. But when you bend one of those, you're going to be real pissed off at yourself. So don't mistreat your bars. If you do bend one, use it for what it's capable of being used for.